Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today's upload is a little different. I guess it'd be two parts, two different kinds of uploads. One, I went up to where Tom Mesick disappeared later in the afternoon. I said I would do it on the live stream, and I did. I went up around 5:30 to about 6:30. Let the sun kind of cool off a little bit. Bugs were terrible up there today, but interesting trip. And then the other part of the upload is going to be an interview. So before we get into it, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost a cent. Click the like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. And folks, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to today's upload, shall we? All right, guys, the first part of the upload, I am up to where Tom Mesick disappeared. Many of you who have been with the channel for some time know that I've been going up there for a couple years now, 3, maybe 4 years, 3 years at least. And I've interviewed countless different people. The supervisor, the town supervisor, from family members that were in law enforcement in the case, that were part of the case, part of the search and rescue, state troopers. There's one store up in Brant Lake, and I interviewed the woman who owns that store. I've interviewed the fire chief and his wife. Now, the fire station in Brant Lake / Horicon is was the kind of jump off station for everybody. That's where all the search and rescue people were and such. And as many of you know, I talk about the FBI and why they were there. I have a family member that I interviewed, and he was in the sheriff's department. He was actually part of the lead investigation, actually. He didn't know why the FBI was involved. And so, very interesting. But I have done a little bit more digging on the Adirondacks. I have the map of the grid search of where they searched Lily Pond. I'm going to do an upload in the next couple of days about how there is more than just one missing 411 in the Adirondacks. There's quite a few, actually. I know that just recently someone sent me a link to a channel that was talking about Tom's case, and they had said, maybe you can get some information from this person. And I listened to the interview or not the interview, the upload, and they had mentioned like Tom's brother had disappeared in the same location a couple months later. That never happened. It's so weird that people just create stories that, instead of looking into the truth, They just spew senseless babble, which is, it's I guess, laughable. But this case means something to me. It happened in my backyard, and his brother didn't disappear. There's a lot of strange things that surround it, but the other 411s that happened in the Adirondacks are just as strange. There's one in Loon Lake, which is a half an hour from where Tom disappeared. And it happened years before. So, in dates coincide. November 15th is when Tom disappeared. And, well, watch the upload. Let's get into it. All right, guys. Like I said in the live stream last night, we'd be going up where Tom Mesick disappeared. I was able to get my hands on a location map of where they did the search and rescue for Tom. And I'm going to go over that map tonight when I go home, while adding more to this upload. But yeah, I also did some background, and the Adirondacks has more than just Tom that disappeared. I made a video a while ago on a couple of people who disappeared in the Adirondacks, but there's more than that. In the Adirondack Almanac, I found a lot of very interesting information. So the bugs are terrible out, and I don't know why, because it's 6:30 p.m. right now. I'll turn the camera around so you guys can see. Alright, so there's the trail I just came up. There's some more of the mountain that I gotta do. These are the boulders that I had been sitting on. Well, whatever it was ran through the woods right here. I was actually sitting on this one, had my camera set up there, and something came smashing through up here. Well, I want to show you guys something, because in that map, this is the wash. This is not Lily Pond Trail proper. This is off of Lily Pond Road, but not the proper. So what we'll do is we'll go down to Lily Pond Trail, and I'll share some of that info with you guys. Because Tom was not hunting on the mountain. He was not up here. I figured it out, and tonight when we do the map, I will show you. Actually, right down there by that tree and rock, right there is where I was standing when I caught that metallic clanging noise, which was terrifying in its own sense. These bugs are terrible out here. Upstate New York is supposed to have just a really bad summer with black flies. Rangers have been up here cleaning the trails. So something just moved over there, little animal. But yeah, let's go down to Lily Pond proper, and I'll show you some interesting things that I found. And then after that, when I get home, we will go over the map, which is just amazing and interesting. So hang on one second.
Alright guys, this is Lily Pond proper. It's a flatter trail, and excuse me, this is where the day of the eclipse I blew the shofar and we got a strange response prior. I think I'm going to try that again actually today. But this is where Tom was. The center of that search was stationed like around this trail and shot out 2.5 miles squared. So, and there were different vantage points, different points of meet, which I thought was interesting. Once again, I will show you that map later on in this video when we're home. But the rock formation that I had found, well, blazing my own trail that one day. I've taken you guys to it a couple different times. I brought a magnet with me. I brought a EMF recorder with me, or EMF reader, excuse me. And look how beautiful that is. It's just absolutely stunning. We've got a lot of different wildlife out today, which is good. I don't feel like we're being stalked, because usually it's quiet up here. Little chipmunk. What's that say? For my hater that says I'm not from New York. There you go, buddy. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. So walking through here, I came walking through. Now look at those trees. See how they're bent? Now, these are the trees that I noticed are bending a different way. What's that right there? A teepee. But all these trees are going straight up and down, right? All these until that big tree right there. And then look how they grow. They grow going toward that rock wall, right? Well, right up through that woods is where I found those 3 stacked rocks. But interestingly enough, those curved, it almost is like an archway right there. I don't know. I'm not saying, see, here's another one. I'm not saying large hairy hominid did it, but it's just a very weird kind of placement. Absolutely stunning today in the Adirondacks, guys. Just stunning. Look at that rock wall behind me. And it just goes up. So, there has been a lot of different disappearances in the Adirondacks. Let me get this paper out here. I have the map of the searched area of Tom, but this I found interesting. Funny thing, a subscriber didn't know that I was from upstate New York and just saw the video and heard of my obsession of me talking about Tom. And I'm like, I live in that location. Like, he's like, oh, check this video out. And this channel made a video, and it was probably the most ridiculous set of information ever. Non-factual. A couple of things were said, like Tom Mesick's brother disappeared in the same location, which never happened. And people were commenting, like, I heard that. Well, if you heard it, why not look it up? Because it's not true. It never happened. And it wasn't David Paulides. Because David Paulides, regardless of how anybody feels about the gentleman, brought this 411 to our attention. He is at the forefront of the 411 and the investigations. But, so, hang on one second. Interestingly enough, I always said Tom disappeared on my daughter's birthday, November 15th, 2015. He was last seen at 2 p.m. Tom was hunting with a party in Lily Pond area. Mesick was supposed to be in a stationary position due to his age and health. When hunters emerged from the woods following deer drive, Mesick failed to exit the woods. Police were notified, yada yada. So this is some more information. Sorry guys, let me give you guys a view of something great besides me. The woods. Hang on, I apologize. So this is more information. This is such a shitty video, sorry guys. All right, so this is more information, here we go. Lost and never found. The case of Leighton Goodale. The Adirondacks have had their share of people who have gone missing and never been found. Cases of Douglas Legg, George Bombardier, Stephen Thomas Carlton, George LaFrost, Jack Conley, Irene Horn, Tom Mesick are among the more well publicized in the annals of search and rescue. Adam Ferdman's article, Lost, published in a 2010 edition of Adirondack Life. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry. I'm going to flip the camera around. Where was I? An Adirondack Life provides a superb yet chilling summary of those who have went missing within the park between 1951 and 2008. Well, Tom disappeared in 2015. So on the morning of Sunday, October 12th. Whoa, what the fuck is that, guys? I don't know if my mic picked that up. Whatever it was up here. All right, let's finish this. Sorry guys, that was a little sketchy. What? What the hell? Okay. On a Sunday morning, October 12th of 2012, a retired police officer from Buffalo gathered with a group of hunters at the Coshaqua camp near Lake Coshaqua, which lies at the southern east foot of Loon Lake Mountain. After a late dinner, Goodale, along with his nephew Dr. Charles Goodale of Jamestown and Dr. Walter Rathburn of Stony Wood, decided to head out for some partridge hunting. After walking a short distance from the clubhouse, Goodale told his companions to go ahead. "I could take care of myself. I'm all right." No apprehension was felt after leaving Goodale alone in the wilderness. He was in reasonably good health and has hunted in other parts of the Adirondack, such as Blue Mountain Lake, Indian Lake, Allegheny region, and the southwestern part of the state. However, this was his first visit to Loon Lake region. Loon Lake is about 30 minutes from where I am right now, to be honest with you. When Goodale's two companions returned to camp in the middle of the afternoon, they expected to see him. When he did not show, the men waited a half an hour before firing a signal outside to let him know they had returned back to camp. As dusk approached, everyone at camp began to signal regularly with their guns, hoping the reports would direct Goodale out of the woods once darkness fell. All grew quiet, concerned for their missing companion, especially since nighttime temperatures had been, as of recent, below freezing. At dawn the following Monday, a search party was organized at camp to look for Goodale. Members of the group included Goodale's nephew, Dr. Rathburn, Dr. Harry Bray of Raybrook, Dr. Ezra Bridge of Stonewood, Dr. Jacob Miller of Buffalo, all respected doctors. The efforts of this coterie to find their friend in a large swath of wilderness was to no avail. Keep the camera facing that way, and then you guys can check out my rear. Hang on. There we go. Realizing they needed more help, Dr. Bridge contacted the observer on Loon Lake Mountain, Bernard Pay, and the Troop B barracks of the state police in Malone, and explained the situation. On a Tuesday morning, from 25 to over 100 men were assembled to take part in the search. Among them were state troopers, game wardens, forest rangers, guides, woodsmen, in the addition to members of the Coshocqua camp, with a search regiment spread over a wide territory of slopes in Loon Lake Mountain and the country beyond. One party, headed by game protectors Edward St. Clair and C.J. Kirby, together with an experienced guide named Seymour Doty, headed toward the notch between Sable and the Loon Lakes from the Collins. Oh, God, hang on, guys. Towards Sable and Loon Lake Mountains. Another party headed by Harlow Wheeler and Harrison Benoit went from McCollum's, located at 7.5 miles southwest of Loon Lake, south of Meacham Lake, towards Hatch Brook, northwest of Loon Lake Mountain. Working their way towards the Kirby St. Clair party, the search parties communicated their respective locations through a rifle fire. Bloodhounds employed that Tuesday search followed Goodale's scent and led searchers to a stream where he had stopped to drink, then to a stump where he stopped to rest, but all traces of him ended there. In the language of search and rescue, the stump was his last known point, LKP. Searchers reported that it appeared Goodale had zigzagged and circled around endlessly, as though dazed and confused in a realization that he was lost, and believed he either had some accident or succumbed to exposure. By Friday afternoon, searchers reached the summit of Loon Lake Mountain and told the observer that no signs of Goodale had been found. As the search for Goodale continued into the following week, all hope of finding him dwindled, as did the manpower as searchers. Earlier in the week, Sergeant Fred Homedew of Troop B in Malone withdrew his state troopers By the end of October, after almost 3 weeks of scouring the mountain, the search for Goodale came to an end. Goodale's family offered a $500 reward to anyone that would find him. But this proved futile. Goodale's 25-year-old son, Leslie, refused to give up search for his father. Hang on one second. At the end of deer season, November 15th, and organized a search party, Leslie went to Camp Chautauqua and engaged in his own search. Leslie, along with Ernest Hathaway and Hiram Potter, covered much ground as they could and searched earlier. The three men also searched the area around Loon Lake and the camps at Wolf Pond, about 5 miles north of Loon Lake, but no trace of Goodale was ever found. In desperation, Leslie consulted a psychic who told him his father was being held against his will by 2 men, one tall, one short. The psychic drew a map of the area where they claimed Goodale being held. The map was reported accurate, showing a camp, streams, trails. With the map in hand, Leslie returned to Loon Lake with additional help. The group made a search based on the psychic's map, but turned up no sign of Leslie's father, nor that his purported kidnappers. After several days of searching, Leslie gave up in despair and returned home to Buffalo. In late December of 24, Buffalo City Council ordered the cancellation of Goodale's pension and declared him officially declared him officially dead. I don't know if I just caught something back there, but it just something out of the corner of my eye in that camera. Officially dead. Thus was the closure of the former Buffalo policeman fate, albeit symbolic. In early July of 34, a heap of bleached bones was found near D-Bar Mountain. They were thought to be human remains, and if so, possibly Goodale's. However, forensic examination of the bones revealed they were those of an animal. Whatever became of Goodale remains a mystery. Some theorized he was murdered and his body was hidden, or that he soured on life, committed suicide, while others surmised he had troubles of his own and decided to go away and seek another climb where he could begin his life anew. One thing is for certain, only Loon Lake Mountain knows of his fate. Just over 2 years after Goodale went missing, off of Loon Lake Mountain, another man went missing, roughly in the same area. Corporal Charles Bailey of Company I, or 1 or L, Company I think, 26th Infantry, Plattsburgh, on the morning of Sunday, October 17th, 1926. Corporal Riley went deer hunting with his commander and several other officers of his regiments on the slopes of Loon Lake, near Lake Kashakwa. He strayed off from his party while attempting to take down a deer, and as he kept trampling through the woods, he became lost. As nightfall approached, forest rangers, game protectors, state troopers from, once again, Troop B in Malone and members of Bailey's regiment were mobilized and searched throughout the night. Fortunately, a member of the search party found Corporal walking on the highway near McCombs, today's State Route 30. The Malone Evening Telegraph reported that Corporal Bailey was not much the worse from his experience after being given a hearty meal. All right. Isn't it weird how, like, after reading that, how much quieter it is now? I mean, you got something over there chirping, but it is a heck of a lot quieter now than it was, which is just awful weird. All right, guys, I brought this shofar with me. I want to see if we get anything. Wish me luck. I'm getting pretty good with that thing. We didn't hear anything tonight. So, alright. Well, I am gonna finish this hike out, and I will finish this upload when I get home. Talk to you then.
Alright guys, so I had spent some time up there, and it was a little freaky at the end. The beginning part was great. I mean, it really was. There was no kind of bad feelings. The nature was calling, and it just real beautiful day. And then as I stayed and I started to look at different things, I think whatever is there, whatever kind of powers are there, knew I was there for a reason. Those trees and the archway is not something, I don't believe Bigfoot made that archway. That is far too big, far too high up. And yeah, it may have grown that way after, but the way the trees bend on one side, just there's too much. I really think that there is some sort of magnetism or portal in that region. And those three rocks that I found, they fall in to a location on the map that I have of where Tom disappeared. And actually, where I was standing and I caught that metallic noise, that is another kind of area. It's actually it falls into a division break just outside of a drop zone where the search and rescuers were looking. So I'll share that map in the next couple of days with you guys in an upload. But now on to the next part of this upload. All right, guys, a couple days ago, I had a friend of the channel, DJ, out of Tazewell, Virginia, on. He shared a very strange experience that he and his friend had. And he said that he's been having these really strange things going on around his home. Well, during last night's live stream, I got a text, and he said, something's going on real crazy. And, you know, when you get a text, it's usually kind of, you really can't read the mood or read the vibe of that person. But in those texts that he sent me, I could tell something was up. So this is going to be an interview with DJ. He's going to share with us what kind of went on in his yard and on his home last night. One thing really quick, I found this funny. Out of the thousands of uploads I have done, a person commented, and it just strikes me as funny because I believe in research, and by researching things, common sense and being able to, really put things together is part of research. Well, last interview I did with DJ, his smoke detector beeped, and a few people said, Jeff, change your battery. Out of the thousands of interviews and thousands of videos I've done, not once have you heard, do you hear a battery now? No. But in a few minutes, you're going to hear it, and it is on DJ's end. I just found that kind of funny because, you can't you really can't figure out that it wasn't my studio. I don't have a smoke detector in my studio, one. And if it was beeping, I'd stop it. I did give DJ some crap about it, but, DJ's DJ. I can't tell DJ what to do at his house. Hey, change your smoke detector. Hey, do this. I just have to go with what the interviews give me, One thing I will say is at the end of this interview, at the very end, 2 Harley Davidsons went down the road past my house, and my God, is it loud. All right, let's get into it. All right, folks, a couple days ago, I had friend of mine, friend of the channel, DJ. He is in Tazewell, Virginia. Tazewell, Buchanan, Mercer County, West Virginia, kind of a triangular hot spot back in 2020 through 2022 with disappearances and strange deaths. Actually longer than that if you really want to go deep diving. But he has had his share of Dogman encounters. He lives on this kind of backside of this mountain region. He had a buddy that he went out looking for their dog and had this weird experience with what we kind of came up with, like a glimmer man, this kind of camouflage predator-like creature. If you haven't heard the interview, it was a couple days ago, check that out. But last night during the live stream, he had some weird things going on. So I'm going to introduce you to DJ and let DJ fill us all in. I haven't heard what happened last night, so it's news to me as well. DJ, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, Jeff. Thanks for asking.
I appreciate you reaching out last night. I could tell right off that whatever was going on was freaking you out. So I'm just going to let you tell us what happened.
All right. A lot like you, I'm almost like a nocturnal species. I stay up a lot of the night. I was in here as I normally do, sitting in the living room watching television, and I got up to go in the kitchen to check what I was, cooking in for supper, and I heard, when I turned the TV off, I heard footsteps, but, everybody in the household was already in bed, and, I didn't think nothing of it. Like I'd said previously, there's a little spiritual turbulence going on around here, so, I'm mostly common to it. It seemed to follow me as I moved from in here into my kitchen. And I kept hearing something on the television on, but I just didn't pay it no mind because we have fur babies, pets and stuff inside and out. But it got a little loud, and I noticed when I was on my way back from the kitchen, again, it was following me. I turned around, nothing there, of course not. And then I started paying attention. It was up on the roof. And when I come back in here and sit down, I turned the TV back on, tried to ignore it, and it just kept getting louder and heavier. Whatever it was had a decent amount of weight to it, enough to, when it walked, you could hear it walking. And you could actually hear some of the rafters creak. And I ain't gonna lie about it, I got scared. And we've had things around here before, but nothing with this amount of weight. You could actually hear it. We've got a new roof on. It's been on here for about 3 years. Everything's good and sturdy. So whatever it takes to make that kind of noise is extremely heavy because we have an attic and it's almost like soundproof. Well, I didn't realize how bad it was until I got up again and walked in here where the attic is, in the closet. There's a closet where we keep junk, odds and ends, jackets, things. And that's where you enter through there to go up to the attic. When I opened the closet door, whatever it was had stopped right above the attic and started beating. You could actually hear it beating on the roof. So I come back out here. I didn't know what to do. That's when I texted you. And I went and, grabbed a weapon. And I went and woke up, my family members. And put a weapon in each room and told them what was going on. Told them to be aware. And what got me worse is it followed me from every room I went. I could hear it walking. When I stopped, it stopped. So I come back in here and I was noiding out, to be honest with you. I was sitting here trying to watch TV, trying to get into it, but it seems like the more I done that, if I try to turn the volume off, the louder it would get. And then it would start walking from one end of the roof to the other in a roundabout circular pattern, sounded like it was walking right above me in a circle. And it'd stop, and you'd hear stomp or beat, whatever it was doing. And it got to the point that, I didn't know what it was. And I knew something had to take place. So I went outside, and I've got a shotgun, a 12 gauge, with a light on it. And when I went outside, I kept the animals in here. The dogs were even freaking out. That's how I knew that something was not supposed to be, because when it freaks our animals out inside, you've got trouble. And I put them in here and put them in a soundproof room so they couldn't bark. And I went outside real slowly and carefully and walked down. We've got concrete steps, or 8 of them. You get to the bottom, and we've got a concrete walkway. So I got out, went down to the bottom steps, got on the walkway, and our house is 2-story. We got a full basement, and we got the upstairs, part one. And a porch on the bottom and top. And
you kind of muffled out right there. What you were describing the house, you said basement, and then it muffled out.
Okay. We've got a full upstairs and a full basement.
Okay.
And both of them have a shed roof over both of them. So when I went down, I went on the bottom porch where it's concrete and walked over to the center of the house. And I could still hear it. It sounded like a scratching. From knocking or walking, whatever it was doing, like it sounded like talons on sandpaper or something of that order. And I went to the center of the house and I backed out with my back to the bottom of the yard, about 10 paces. I turned and looked up on the center, and I turned the light on, and I started looking. And I didn't see nothing. Whatever it was gone, so I thought. And, I decided that, I'm hearing things. So I cut the light off and took about 5 steps, got close to the porch, and it started again. So I put myself back in reverse, went right back up where I was, and kept the light off till I heard the sound. And I hit the switch and turned the light back on, and I called out on it. It was on the back side of the roof, and when I called it, I was seeing its head. But I couldn't, the light isn't very strong. It's strong enough if you had to defend yourself, it would light up your target, but as far as getting a good description and seeing exactly what you're looking at, it don't have that magnification like it needs. It's a aluminum light.
Okay.
I made out eye color, and I made out, the blinking, and whenever it was stood up. That's all I know. I don't know how tall it was, because like I said, it was on the back side of the roof. We've got an A-frame roof. And when it stood up, I could see the head, part of the shoulders, and about halfway down to the sternum. I didn't waste no time. I pulled the trigger. And the only thing I know is it made no sound. It sounded a weird sound, like a big belch of air, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And then I heard the noise. It rolled, and then I heard it make contact with the ground. And I didn't hear no more movement. And I waited about 10 minutes out here, catching my breath, trying to calm myself down. And I decided to walk to the back. I walked around the corner very slowly with the light on and a shotgun pointed straight out. If I need to fire, I can do it. I got about 7 foot from making the corner to the back, and I heard something take off running.
You're muffling again.
I went around to the back corner of the house. I got about 7 feet from there.
Yep.
And I heard something get up and take off running.
Okay.
Through the weeds, I actually heard there's an old barbed wire fence there. It's down. It's low in places. I heard it make contact with the wire, and you could tell where it stretched the wire out. But the fence was low wherever it caught. It must have caught it by its leg.
Yeah.
And you could actually hear it trip, and then it got back up and it took off.
So whatever it was, it fell? It
fell about 12 foot to the bottom of the ground. We got our heat pump back there.
Right. No, I mean, like it hit the barbed wire fence. The barbed wire fence caught it.
Yeah, when it took off, when it got up and took off, it must have got caught in that barbed wire.
Okay.
I mean, there's places where it's up and where it's down, but it must have got caught in it. You could actually hear I heard the tensile strength of it, stretching out.
That stretch, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird sound, but most people know what it like. It's like, you can tell when it's got pressure on it.
Yeah.
And the time I made the corner, I caught the light on something was moving extremely fast. It wasn't like Dogman speed, but whatever it was fast. The only thing I caught of it was, I like to say it was black, but it wasn't the blackest of black, and it had a gray tint to it in the hair. I don't know if that's the light, lighting it up like that, because it is a lumen light with one of them high pressure bulbs, but it looked like it was black and gray with like a silver tint to the hair, if that makes sense.
So it did have hair. You could see hair?
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see hair.
Okay.
But
so it wasn't what you guys saw last time when you were with your buddy? Okay.
No, I have no idea what it was. I don't know, but it didn't appear to be that tall.
Yeah.
From what I could tell, I'd estimate its height at 5-6 feet, but whereas also short, the weeds were so high, it hit its, I guess you could say, its buttocks.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to see why it was going real quick to see if it had a tail. I didn't see no tail. Not to say that it didn't have one, but I couldn't see nothing but the backside of it moving. And it was sort of, you could tell it was in pain the way it was running. Like it sort of had like a stall to it. It would stumble a little bit, but it kept going. And once it hit the weeds into the woods, I just heard it keep on moving up the mountain.
Now, I've had you on at this location. You had a Dogman, what you and I believe was a Dogman with a pup at one point. And you had shared a picture with me. I put it on the channel. Was it running toward up that mountain way?
Exactly. You're right on. Exactly,
which would be up towards the cemetery, if I'm not mistaken. So where his house is, it kind of sits on this kind of plateau, and above his house is another kind of flat plateau, but there's a mountain there, and there's a small cemetery up there. And it was running up into that cemetery, you think, or just into those woods?
Into those woods, because you'd have to go up there. Well, the way the ridge leads, it leads right up to that, and you can follow the road and come out on the cemetery.
Okay. But
it was headed right for that area. I don't know how bad it was hurt.
Did you go out today and look for any blood or anything, or?
Yeah, I did. I didn't find no blood. Well, I found stains. I don't know if it was blood at one time. It looked like it. It was sort of a purplish black. There's about 4 or 5 drops, but there was no hair. You could see where it actually made contact with the ground because it flattened the grass.
Okay.
And you could follow its path all the way through the weeds because, of course, when you step on a weed, it leaves your mark. I mean, it's just like a footpath.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could see it all the way up to where it actually entered the woods, and it broke, there was a bunch of barbed wire right there, and it had skipped the barbed wire. I don't know how it seen it, and went through wild rose bushes. Then it actually broke the wild rose bushes in half and went right through the center. You can see it just looked like somebody put some kind of small explosive in there and blew it out the center. And you could actually see where it went up into the mountains. And what I seen of it, if I had to estimate its weight, it was well over 200 pounds. It was thick.
Yeah, so short and stocky.
Right.
With a blackish silver tint.
Right.
And it definitely had hair.
Right. It would put you in mind of the silverback gorillas of the Congo.
Okay.
And, the color tint of it. But it was really thick and really stocky. I want to think that I seen ears, but I'm not for sure. But if it was a Dogman variant or whatever they, try to say type A, whatever, I don't believe in that type system, but it looked like its ears sort of were laid back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like distress, I guess you would say, but it never.
But you didn't see any kind of facial features, so you can't really see if it was a Dogman or not. You just saw the backside of it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And the shell that I used was a 2 3/4 inch, what they call a 4-buck.
Yep.
It's a smaller caliber than double aught. Matter of fact, there was 28 in it instead of just the standard 9, and then 2 3/4 and 12 and a 3-inch. So it's designed to throw more of a tighter pattern and have more pellets. So if some go off target, you still want to make contact with your whatever you're shooting at. It hit it hard enough at about 30 yards, and that's through a open choke, what's called the improved cylinder, where you can fire slugs as well. So I know it made contact.
Yeah.
But you could actually hear the shot make contact.
And now you said you heard scratching. Was that because last time you were on, you were talking about how one night you heard some kind of scratching on the wall by your son's room down the hallway. Was it resemblant? Was it similar to that or no? Different?
No, it was different.
Different.
It sounded like something dragging its talons, or if you want to call them claws, across sandpaper.
Okay.
Because we've got the old-fashioned...
Like your shingle, like on your shingles?
Right, our high-tensile shingles is what we've got.
Okay.
And that's exactly what it sounded like, as if it was dragging its claws across it.
That's interesting. And it was following you the whole... through you?
Yes, I don't know how it was doing it, Jeff.
Did your son hear it when you gave him the gun and your wife? It. They all heard it?
Yes, they both heard it.
Huh.
And, my wife, of course, she, started praying, which is what you should do in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And my son, he stayed in the room with the gun. And, he's of age. He's over 18. I could have took him out there. But I didn't want to put him in jeopardy because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
But I do know whatever it was like I said, stalky and heavy.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like somebody dropped a 200-pound sack of potato or feed off that roof when it made contact with the ground.
Did it make any kind of noise when it hit? Like, how you get your wind knocked out of you?
That's about what it sounded like. I heard it from the front of the house do that. Like it knocked the wind out of it.
That was when you shot it or when it fell? Because you said
when it fell.
Okay. Was it similar? Because you said you heard it when you shot. You heard a noise like the wind got knocked out of it too.
Yeah, like a big. I guess like you'd hit somebody in the gut. You know how you'd knock the air out of.
Yeah, like
that's about exactly what it sounded like when the shot made contact.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm still, I'm still on guard. I'm still on edge. I've got my firearm right here by me if I need it, but I'm keeping the TV low now to listen for anything. But like we were talking earlier, I don't know how that thing was able to follow me from one end to the other. It heard my sound and went by vibrations. The only thing I know.
Yeah, that's real strange. Hang on one second. Sorry about that, guys. Benefits of having a studio and idiot motorcycles going by. So yeah, that's really strange how it would just walk around your roof following your movement. Like it's almost like it could hear you moving.
Exactly.
Which is strange too. Interesting, but strange. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you don't know if it was a Dogman, so you really can't say if it was or not,
No.
But like I said the other day, there was that information where there's DUMBs or installations in Virginia. There is one in Tazewell, and that's Devil's Hole. So, I mean, I think these creatures are used by the government, controlled by the government. Not all of them, but, and especially where you live, the amount of strangeness. Because the last interview I had you on just a couple days ago, I think there was close to 2 or 3 different people from Tazewell. I know I read a woman's comment, and she had said, something about how strange it is out there as well. maybe sometime this week I'll go over the strange disappearances of the people, because there's a lot of them and it is weird. But yeah, that's crazy. Nothing tonight though.
No, thank God, nothing so far tonight.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, I don't know what to say. Just be safe, you know. And obviously you're going to keep me in the loop. So
Definitely.
I do want to talk to you a little bit longer after this, but please stay safe. And wow, that's pretty fucking crazy.
You could say that, my friend. if it ain't driving me crazy, I'm about ready to piss my pants, pardon the English, because I was on that pedestal last night, because people don't know how scary something like that is until you go through it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right, my friend. Thank you for coming back on and letting everyone know. Give everyone a shout out or a good night if you'd like.
Yeah, I like to tell everybody listening good night, and to have a blessed day coming up next, and be careful in whatever y'all doing.
Absolutely. You as well, my friend. Don't hang up, because I want to talk to you.
10-4, sir.
All right, folks. So that was today's upload. I really am sorry about that motorcycle thing at the end. That really just irked me. You could see my face. I was just like, on top of DJ and his muffled phone and the beeping. I know he's watching this, and I'm literally giving him crap, but you know, he knows I don't mean anything bad about it. But yeah, you know, it's very interesting what is happening as of late. People are seeing different things. People are seeing stranger kind of creatures that haven't been seen in a while. I have heard of different kind of furry, like strange cryptids that were smaller than Bigfoot, smaller than Dogman, and dangerous as well. And, you know, especially in the Virginia, Maryland region, somewhere around there. I just think we are at the precipice, the beginning of the end, you know? I think it's only going to get worse, you know, and we've been here for a long time. The beginning takes a while, but, you know, I think we're going to see stranger and stranger things, worse and worse attacks, and as time goes on. I really do. I really, really do. Anyway, with that, guys, thank you for supporting the channel. It is your support that keeps the channel growing and going. And honestly, what gives people like DJ a chance to share their experiences and theories, judgment-free, minus the beeping. Just kidding, DJ. Guys, please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, friends. These creatures are real. They are out there, and they are dangerous. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for answers, and God bless.